inside. Again, this is pretty obvious. The inside is going to be the stuff inside the parentheses, the 2x plus 1. After the calculator does that, the last thing it's going to do is the outside function, which is the cubing. Okay, I'm going to go back to the trig function one, because I don't think you've seen this notation in a long time. If y equals cosine to the 4th of x. Remember, that's just the mathematician's way to say, I want the cosine of x put to the 4th power. So another way to write that, and the reason why we don't write it this way is because it takes parentheses. This right here is the exact same thing as cosine x to the 4th. So now it's very easy to see this is the inside the parentheses, this is your outside again. So the out and the in. The in is working out cosine x. The outside is the 4th power. And the whole reason you have to be able to pick out inside and outside is for this next derivative rule. And it's called the chain rule. And it takes the derivative of composite functions. Okay, this is going to seem a little challenging at the beginning, but give it a couple months worth of work and you'll be fine. Okay, the way the chain rule works is if you've got a function within a function. The only way I can write that is like this. Function h is inside function g. So back here, like if I just point back, x to the 5th would be my h of x and the sign would be my g. But anyway, if you've got a function within a function, to do the derivative, start on the outside. So it would be the derivative of the outside multiplied by the derivative of the inside. So I'm going to say it in words too. It's the outside derivative multiplied by the inside derivative. So just think outside times inside. We're going to add this to your blue sheet. That's your 4th derivative rule. Okay, now it's just a bunch of examples practicing this chain rule. So the whole rest of the assignment is find the derivative. Also known as differentiate. Alright. I've got f of x equals x cubed plus 4 to the 5th. Okay, the outside, obviously this is the inside. The 5th power is your outside. Okay, so that means I've got to do a power rule. The power rule is the very first rule you learned. You already had a quiz on it. The power comes down. You keep all this the same. You subtract 1. Just that the thing that I'm having here is just more complicated than it has been before. It used to be just a single like letter. So, to start the derivative, I'm going to do a power rule because that's what's on the outside. So the 5 comes down. The inside stays exactly the same. Subtract 1 from the exponent. That's the outside derivative. Now I've got to do the inside derivative. So all I'm looking at now is this x cubed plus 4. And I'm going to multiply by the derivative of that inside. Well, the derivative of x cubed is 3 x squared. And the derivative of 4 is 0. And I should get in the habit of putting parentheses here in case I happen to do get more than one term. But here I only got one. And now the simplifying is, because this is to the 1st power here, these parentheses are actually gone, I can float this to the front, and everything's multiplied here. It's 5 times this quantity times this. So when this floats to the front, the 5 and the 3 get multiplied, and I get 15. The x squared's up there with it, and then I have my quantity. Okay, if you followed that, you can just kind of fast forward through my second way to do this. If this was confusing to you, I'm going to show you another way. So if you want to fast forward till I get to example 3, go ahead. The other way you can think of these is to do a little, it's called U substitution. You can let U equal your inside. So the inside is the x cubed plus 4. So U would equal x cubed plus 4. Now, leave a little space here. Now you're going to rewrite f of x in terms of U. So what this is going to be is U to the 5th power. Okay, that looks easy, a lot simpler than this. I can do a derivative now. So the 5 comes down, times U to the 1 less power, but then I always have to remember to multiply by the derivative of the U prime. What I want to be able to do now is substitute for the U. So I want to throw away the U, I want to put what U is equal to. It's U cubed plus 4. So I've got 5 times U cubed plus 4. That's to the 4th power. But I still have to multiply by the derivative of U. Well, I can do that right here. U prime is very easy to get the derivative. It's 3x squared. Derivative of 4 is 0. So I just need the 3x squared. And now I'm right back at this line here, and I simplify it to this. So whichever way you like. Example 3. Still just going to practice the heck out of this chain rule business. So f of x equals the quantity 2x squared plus 3x minus 1 to the 4th. So I can see the inside here. In, that says in. Here's my out. I start from the outside and I work my way in when I do derivatives. So because my outside is a power, I do power rule. Power rule says bring that down as a multiplier. Keep the inside the same. Raise it to the 1 less power. That'll now be cubed. So the outside, the power rule is done. Now I still have to multiply by the derivative of the inside. So start with the parenthesis. Derivative of the inside, this term is 4x. Bringing the 2 down, plus, derivative here is 3. Derivative of negative 1 is 0. Okay, I can't remember, but I do think the author distributes here. I think this floats to the front and combines with the 4. So I'm going to take an extra step here so I don't lose anybody. So I still have the same 3 things multiplied, just that last one's now in the middle spot. And then I'm going to distribute the 4. So that'll be 16x plus 12, that quantity, times this quantity cubed. These don't get multiplied together because that one has a 3rd power on it. So simplified as we can get it. Okay, again, if you want to fast forward till I get to example 4, I'm going to do the U thing over here, if this gets too complicated for you to follow. So you let U equal your inside, just the inside alone. So that's 2x squared plus 3x minus 1. We know we're going to need the U prime, so I'm going to do that right now. 4x plus 3. Okay. Now I'm ready to rewrite this, f of x, in terms of U. So this whole quantity here was U, and that's being raised to the 4th power. This is very easy to do a power rule on. 4 comes down, u to the third power times u prime. And now I just have to substitute in for the u and in for the u prime. Okay, because u is a quantity, I need parentheses. 2x squared plus 3x minus 1, and this says to cube u. And now times u prime, and u prime is a quantity. 4x plus 3. Now I'm right at the spot where I was here, and you can see what we did. Okay, example 4. Okay, you do not have to be writing both of these examples down. One is, if you get this one, just skip this one. If you need both, then do both. So y equals 10 times the quantity 3x to the negative 1 minus 2x to the fourth. All that raised to the negative 7th power. Okay, these constant multipliers in the front, don't worry about them. There's no x there, we're just going to carry it along. Here's your inside. Here's the outside. Don't even let the 10 bother you. So, outside has a power, we got to do power rule. So y prime, power rule says this comes down, gets multiplied in front. Well, there's a 10 sitting there, and I'm multiplying by negative 7, so that's a negative 70 now. Inside stays the same. One less power is going to take me to negative 8. So the outside is done. Now I've got to do the derivative of the inside. Start with a parenthesis. Derivative of each term. That'll be negative 3. X to the 1 less power brings me to negative 2. This will be minus 8x to the third power. Float this to the front. Negative 70. Negative 3x to the negative second minus 8x cubed. 3x to the negative 1 minus 2x to the fourth. All that to the negative 8th. And then I can distribute my negative 70 in, because this power out here on the parentheses is 1. That'll be a positive 210, x to the negative 2, plus, 7 times 8, 560, x cubed, minus 2x to the fourth to the negative 8. Okay, for the u people, again, skip to example 5 if you need to. We let u equal the inside, so that'll be 3x to the negative 1 minus 2x to the fourth. We don't have to worry about any parentheses because we're only writing down the inside. U prime, we're going to have negative 3, x to the negative 2, and then this will be minus 8x cubed. Okay, so rewrite the y in terms of u. So the 10 is staying a 10. Now I've got the u raised to the negative 7th. Now I'm ready for the derivative, and I see a power rule. So negative 70 u to the negative 8th times, you always got to stick on u prime. So now I just substitute back negative 70. What was u? Oh, it was this quantity, 3x to the negative 1 minus 2x to the fourth. All that raised to the negative 8th times negative 3x to the negative 2 minus 8x cubed. And again, you can see where we finished up here when we bring this to the front and distribute. Okay, let's do some trig. Y equals cosine 4x.